Right, we are recording, Rosana. So the reason I wanted to record this, we spoke last week, which was your 8th week, and you had the freebie spot from Melissa Morell's video, which, is fantastic, and you've just done like brilliantly. And last week was your 8th week, well, just before actually, wasn't it? And you said so many great things without me prompting at all, that it was just like, bam, why didn't I press record then? So you've kindly come back and said that you'll, just chat to the ladies, I suppose, a little bit about what it was like for you to do the 8 weeks. And I know that you had a 4 or 5 day wedding celebration just before your 8th week.
4 full days.
4 full days, and you lost weight on that 4 days.
Lost weight.
And felt fantastic, had a fantastic time, looked fantastic. And that's kind of what the goal is here, isn't it? To feel different. So I'm just going to go a couple of things that you said last week. So I know last week you were 1 pound away, but you're on 140.8, but your goal was 140. So you have reached goal 0.8. No, right. Fantastic. But there were lots of things that you said that changed as well. And I know that one of them is a really massive bonus, and that was cellulite.
Yes, I know this.
That you said that your cellulite has reduced.
Yes, it reduced. Before I lost the weight, it was even in my arms in this side, and that was like a big no for me, because I always like to show I always thought that the décollage was the best part, of my body, and so I knew I needed to do something. But it's looking better. I'm still, work in progress. But
I know. I mean, 8 weeks really. So first of all, you said that this program was one of the best. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. It really works. It works because it is a healthy approach. I just love the way that the first 2 weeks, pretty much you detox, even though they were the hardest ones. And many times I thought, can I do this? But it was great, because then you start feeling yourself again, you detox, and then slowly you start incorporating things. So you kind of have a better communication with your body. You find you can pinpoint what is your body not liking. So if you have inflammation, or that wasn't really much my case. Everything felt like in order and beautifully.
Yeah.
And I have to say that it was physically and mentally, emotionally, everything that I felt, it was, well, thankfully I had you, so you kind of, you guide me through that dark path.
I know, because that first 2 weeks was not easy for you, I don't think, was it? And I mean, we don't want to say that this is an easy ride, because it isn't. You've got to commit to 8 weeks. I think.
Yes, definitely. And just, set your mind in your goal, and that's it. Don't look sideways. Don't listen to anybody, because friends are going to tell you, and the other crazy person that talks to you is like, oh, is this right for you? Are you doing this? So just.
Yeah. Because at the beginning, I think that you were doubting lots of things because you felt so tired. You were detoxing, and I think that you were challenging the program, thinking it's this that's making me feel ill. And I think we went through that phase together, didn't we, saying this is normal because your body is getting rid of all those toxins from the stuff that you were eating before. And of course your energy was low, and you wanted to exercise, you couldn't do it because you were too tired. You felt lots of things. I think cramp. Were you having cramp?
Yeah, I had cramps. I was dizzy one day because I did exercise, and here in Texas it's so hot. Yes, so I didn't have enough minerals and the water intake. So it was a combination of things. But yeah, I will recommend the first 2 weeks not to do very extraneous exercise. Like I was running and I was doing pickleball, which is like a paddle game, like a mini tennis game,
Yeah.
and it was too much.
Yeah, we do try and recommend that you kind of spend those first couple of weeks just sort of getting through the sort of a detoxing of all the old foods really, and giving your body that rest it needs, because the difference between how you felt then and how you feel now is like
night and day. Totally different. Yes.
It's just, you know, it's so nice that that you invested that time in the detox.
I haven't seen this body in years. It's been years.
I know you said to me you haven't been this way in 20 years.
Yes. It feels so good, because I was stuck, and you know, with menopause and the accumulation of fat in the belly area, I didn't see my waist. Hello.
I know, it's great, isn't it? And you said to me your body is changing shape.
Definitely.
And your shorts that you had the muffin top over, now you need a belt on them.
Oh yes, everything. Yeah, and I'm glad that I saved some of the dresses that I really loved. So I do have like a small collection, very curated collection of, you know, sizes 6 and, you know, some 8s, but, you know, 6 mostly. And now I fit.
I know, so. Fantastic. Is there anything that you would say to ladies that are on the fence about doing this?
Yes. Well, basically, I will say that if you're looking for a program that it's sustainable for life and it's going to make you feel much better, healthier, and look better, this is the program for you. Yeah,
because you'd done keto before, hadn't you? And
yes, I done keto on myself, and that was a problem because I was taking care of some of the things. Even I don't think I was consuming enough healthy fats. That was one thing, and the other one was that I had a lack of fiber. Yeah. So that was a problem. Yeah. That was the biggest problem for me.
Yeah. So and also I think having somebody with you to start it with, you can answer all the questions and the stuff about why you do things that you don't necessarily want to do, because we've got habits, haven't we, from childhood or from all sorts of, you know, eating because it's a habit. Yes. Picking all day because it's a habit, not drinking enough water. You know, there's so many things that you probably don't notice yourself without somebody saying, just looked at your food diary yesterday.
Yes, definitely. Plus, you show me how to make some delicious recipes, and you know, just the healthiest approach.
Yeah. And do you think your mindset changes when you do this?
Oh yes, absolutely.
You look at foods differently.
Yes, definitely. So many different things, actually, and you were there to every week to reassure me that this was the right way to do things and to keep going, and you know, just like a cheerleader, you know, like you lost, and you really see the weight melting down. So yeah. that was very encouraging. You know?
And also getting to recognize you're that little person that comes along and says, go on, you might as well give in, go on, you might as well have that kind of, as we call it, the negotiator, who comes in to kind of, who's familiar in our lives, isn't he? Because he comes in and says, you feel rubbish, that won't harm you, just have one of those, and recognizing it for what it is.
That's right.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, and also the last thing is that you found areas in your supermarket that you didn't even know existed.
The healthy.
What's in the healthy corner? So who knew it was there, eh?
I know.
And something really important's come up, which is, I think, like, I don't know what percentage I'd give it. I'd say 90%. Do you want to elaborate what that 90% of the difference is?
Yeah, the biggest difference, I believe, was the change. My mindset really changed. I'm able to do smart choices with my food. We just had a very long weekend now in the US, and we got together with friends, and I was able to stay strong and decide what I wanted to eat. And at this point, when your body feels so healthy and you don't use any more food that comes in a package, or you're using fresh products, you just don't want to mess it up anymore. So whatever you put into your mouth is like a smart decision, I will say.
Yeah.
So,
and you've just been away for another long weekend, and you're still down on where you were last week.
Yes. And to have that control of your body and mind is really priceless. Because before I was eating, doing the emotional eating, which it wasn't helping me at all in no areas of my life.
Yeah.
Because then you fall into that wheel, and it's like the circle that you put in your mouth and in your belly things that you shouldn't have eaten, and then you spoke to yourself in a hurtful way, and it's damaging. It's not a healthy way of life.
It's not kind to yourself, is it? And I think you said to me that your relationship with food before was not a good one.
No, I was going, I find you at the perfect right time for me, because I was, if anything, I was going to, I almost like was giving up, and it's like, okay, well, I buy another pant, a size bigger, and see how we navigate from here. And if anything, I was just no.
Yeah, that's where I was. I think about 4 years ago, thinking, well, it's just my age. That's just what happens now. And people do say, when you get older, you've just got to give in to that. Well, do you? When you're just turning a dial of what you put in, your body responds so quickly in every way, like up here and down here. It's just not in one area.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
You get control back.
It's just another stage of our life that we had to learn again how to eat properly. And it's also, this program helped me with the awareness of the size and the quantity that I should eat. Because with fruit, I thought, here is a pineapple. I mean, pineapple is fruit, and I want to eat it all. It's so delicious. Or you start doing a smoothie and you put the whole pineapple and you add sugar and no, the pineapple, and it's so satisfying. I think it was the 40 grams, right, that we use. I'm not measuring anymore, but you just use your hand and it's perfect.
It's hard for anyone to believe this, but the lack of hunger.
Oh, yes. I remember the first time that you said 2 meals and 2 snacks. And I thought, I'm not sure about this program. But sometimes I don't even have the 2 snacks. Sometimes I just, so you start listening to your body, and sometimes you just don't need to eat that much.
I know, because we say optional snacks, and of course at the start you think they're not optional. I'm gonna have those, and then of course when your body starts using the ketones really well, which is when you're in ketosis, you don't actually have the hunger. So you're eating your lunches and that's enough. And if you eat the full dinner, that's enough to carry you through, because we do the intermittent fasting. Which, did you find that pretty straightforward and easy?
Drinking of water and stuff, I don't even think about it. Sometimes it's 2 in the afternoon and I'm like, oh wow, I haven't eaten. I didn't have my lunch. So,
which of course, let's say you then do, because we don't skip food, but you do
oh,
realize that when before you were eating consistently, snacking and grazing, how that just stops.
oh yes. Yes, I was eating at all different times and thinking, oh, there's few nuts here. Nuts are good. It's a good fat, but here and here and here, and then it becomes a big quantity. So yes, I have no problems with my energy levels now. So
Because they're constant rather than going like this.
right. Consuming sugar before, it was like a peak of energy and high notes of happiness, and then non-consuming it, it was like sadness, almost like a little bit of depression, mixed up with the ingest of foods that I knew I should not be eating, and without limits.
Is that what you were doing? You were having sugar when you were feeling low, and then so you were getting that instant reward and that pick me up.
Yes.
Was that when you're feeling low, depressed, you'd have that to comfort yourself?
Occasionally, I will say yes. I will go for some cookie or a chocolate, and then it was never a cookie or a chocolate. It was multiple.
Yeah. And then
So then you have that terrible feeling. You pick up, and now I had to burn this energy. So I'm going to go for a walk or a run, and then you're hungry again, and your belly's making all these noises.
no.
And so you want to eat again, but it's not going to be a healthy choice because you already messed it up. So,
And so did you find they were normally like sugary carbohydrate foods?
well, in general, when you're training for, a marathon or half marathon, people say, full fuel, your fuel is the carbs. So I was using carbs as my fuel, but like we keep saying, is the peak, and then you gotta get ready for the drop.
Yeah.
And when you have that drop, it's horrible. You feel it. So it's like, okay, here I spike up again with my carbs.
Yeah. And have you noticed then, on that note, have you noticed that in the last 8 weeks you haven't really had that grumbly stomach then that you would have?
No, that is strange. I haven't had that, like, you're sitting next to someone and someone is going to say, whoa, what did you eat? Or what kind of animal you're holding inside you? Because I haven't had that in 7 weeks, I think, or 6 weeks easily. Where that animal went, I don't know.
Isn't it amazing what your body does? That
Yeah.
it doesn't have that urgency. And when people use that word hangry, where you need to eat now, that trough does that whole experience of, if I don't eat, I'm going to get cross. Whereas
yes,
when you have a plateau like that, where your body knows where to find the energy, it kind of doesn't do that mood swing in the same way. Your hormones are completely different.
exactly. Everything is way more balanced.
Yeah. You're right. It's the peaks and the troughs that we want to get rid of. It's that continual state, which I have talked about on videos before, that we want to stop that carb rise and drop, and sugar, because we all know that sugar is really, one of the worst things we can put in our body. But of course, we're all addicted to it because of comfort. So it's finding alternatives, which you are now learning to do with lots of different recipes, because we're not trying to imitate the sugar. We're trying to find what our palate will now enjoy that is also sweet, because we have a different sense of what sweet is when we eat different foods, don't we? We saw it before as a cookie that was sugar and carb, or a donut, or whatever it is. Whereas now, when you do a smoothie with pineapple, it's like, oh.
So delicious. The flavors are so fresh and persistent and exploding in your mouth. Relationship with the scale used to be one of mostly hate. So I will put the scale away. But now I realize the scale is an instrument that is helping me to work together. So I weigh myself, and according to what the scale tells me, that will determine my day. I know that I had to adjust things, or I can eat as usual or continue with my plan as usual.
So do you mean, when you say it will affect your day, do you mean in what way? So if it tells you you've gone up a little bit, do you mean that will indicate that something you've eaten your body didn't like, so it's gone up, as opposed to you thinking,
yeah, it will give me the awareness that I need to adjust my day in the way that I want to continue with my plan and eating healthy. Perhaps I had something that it was gave me inflammation, or I overeat something that I should, it's very easy to adjust. Sometimes you just need to add a fat, right?
yeah. And before, your relationship was so before, when you looked at your scales, it would affect your day in a completely negative way?
Yes, before it was so bad that I just, even for months, I brush my teeth here and my scale is right on my side, looking at me. But sometimes I will put it away, disappear in a closet. I don't want to see you anymore. But now we have this, team. We're a team.
It's like a little science project, because you can tell what's going on in your body when you look at a scale, right? Rather than the outside influence of what you're supposed to say.
That's right.
So it's a helpful tool now, as opposed to a torture square.
Yes, absolutely.
I know it was quite tough for me to get you to even take your measurements as well, actually, at the beginning. But it's so exciting when you take them again, and then you can count what's come down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely.
That
awareness is so different now. Yeah.
Brilliant. Congratulations on taking off 22 inches in your 8 weeks.
Thank you so much.
No, cool. I thought we needed to add that, because we haven't, we've just done your measurements after we came off the recording, and you've lost 22 inches.
Wow.
So congratulations on that one. But thank you very much for joining us, and I hope the ladies will kind of recognize that it is different, because you have the opportunity to talk through it with somebody and talk about what's not working for you or what is working for you, and work through that every week, so that you're not just kind of fumbling along in the dark, which is brilliant. But thank you so much, and we are now going to just go on to your last session. Now we've finished recording this, and it's a bit sad at the end of 8 weeks. I feel really like, oh no. But you can always come back and see me. But I'm going to stop recording there. And thank you very much for joining in this. And I hope
thank you for your time and patience, and for guiding me through this new path, finding myself. It's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
You are so more than welcome. So thank you. We'll say goodbye.